Hey there guys, I'm SonicGhost and welcome back to some more Let's Play Splatoon 2 Octo expansion. Last time we started to make our way down the D line here. We completed 2 levels here, one of them very familiar from our very first time stepping foot into the world of Inkopolis. Or at least our inkling version of us, because the tutorial level was a thing that our Octoling friend has never seen before in his life. But it was nice to see it once again as the player. But in today's video, we're going to continue on here with the Deep Sea Metro's D-Line in Who You Gonna Call in the Targetbuster Station. So here we have a choice of 3 different weapons: the Octo Brush and Curling Bomb, Ink Brush and Curling Bomb, and Carbon Roller and Curling Bomb. Let's go ahead and start off with the recommended here, the Octo Brush and Curling Bomb. Please destroy all the target crates before time runs out. Deciding when to fling ink and when to proceed with inking the ground is crucial. And you must think carefully about when to refill your ink. Take care out there. Go ahead and begin the test. The countdown is on! As we can see, we got a straight line of boxes we want to go ahead and hit. Just keep down that shoot button. Hold the shoot button. It's not that far off. Here we want to use a curling bomb to get some momentum. Use the bounce pads here by holding down B. Hit this ink rail or ride rail specifically. I always confuse the two. They're the same. It's just one automated, one not. Break these boxes here with our Octo Brush. Gonna hit these with some of the flings. And now from this point on, just mash like mad. And we're out of ink. Okay, I almost failed because I ran out of ink. Ink consumption is not much of a problem in this test until you get at the ending part. Then it becomes a big concern, as you just seen. Midway through the test, we did see that there is an ink refill, so you can just hold down the shoot button at all times to roll over things with your weapon. So at least the beginning part is okay. The ending's going to be a lot more for us now because we got 2 weapons that are going to make this harder. So let's go back to Targetbuster to complete it with the other weapons. So back at Targetbuster here, let's go ahead and select the Ink Brush now. All these have curling bombs, which will at least make one specific section, the straight line section, basically the exact same. But here, you want to go ahead and just run like mad. Luckily, the Ink Brush has faster movement speed than the Octo Brush when you're holding down the shoot button. So we can move a little bit faster through certain sections, but the flings here specifically with this brush, not that great in comparison. Oh, this is okay. Well, I have no idea what happened there. That really does go the testament on the hitbox size of the ink brush being much smaller than the Octo Brush. That wasn't even the fling problem I was talking about. That was just a bad trail problem, which half of that was my fault, and I will admit that. But also, I have no idea what happened on that front. That's never happened before. Let's go ahead, fling on these boxes here, destroy them. Tap on the ride rail here with the ink brush. Submerge your ink here once in a while to refill. I almost missed one of those targets. Oh, okay, that's why playing motion control for me is such a huge deal. Okay, I just barely tapped on this guy. This is the problem when you're using the other weapons. I do feel Octo Brush is the best pick for this weapon, this mission. It's the best weapon for the mission specifically, mainly because of how powerful it is. The speed of running doesn't really matter as much between Ink Brush and Octo Brush for this mission specifically. In other game modes for Splatoon 2, that does make a bigger deal. But here, not so much. It's about the same time finishing this mission between Ink Brush and Octo Brush, I feel. Our next weapon, the Carbon Roller, that's a whole other story. As you've seen there, I missed a box on the ride rail section, and there's just nothing I can do about it, so that's why I jumped off, because at that point it's faster just to reset the mission than to continue forward. Let's try not to miss these things this time, please. We're just about out of time here, but we're also at the very ending, so just want to go ahead, hit these boxes here as fast as we can, keep on shooting, go, 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 and barely got it. Unfortunately, we have one more weapon to use, and it's the hardest of the 3. Let's make our way back to Targetbuster one more time to complete it with the Carbon Roller. Back here in Targetbuster Station, it's time for the hardest of the 3, the Carbon Roller. And you can definitely feel a difficulty spike here once you jump into the action. It is a much harder weapon to... I just got bounced around like I'm on a pinball table. There's not even a point in continuing on that ascent. I ran out of time in the first 3 seconds. Man, I'm getting a lot of firsts here. So that's another thing you gotta be careful of here. The specific physics when it comes to hitting any of the enemies here in the middle of the map. They can bounce you around pretty harshly to a point where they can just knock you into a pit if you're not careful. So be very mindful of your surroundings for that reason. But at this point, this is when the mission gets really hard. I feel the ending portion for Carbon Roller here is the worst part of this mission because they just don't really give you that much time. They really don't for the specific weapon. And you're going to see it here at the very end stretch. So if we can break this, oh, merely. We had less than a second left on the clock. It is a lot. You cannot make a single mistake there using Carbon Roller. I mean, I could say that for all 3 weapon types, but especially for the Carbon Roller. But that's that station complete, so let's go ahead and take a look at the mem cake we just got. It's a squid bumper. Another squid? I'm gonna hurl. It's just litter. Please consider how we Octolings see the world. Yeah, what's with these being squid bumpers? Can I get an Octo bumper, please? Come on. Come on, just make it an octopus. And that way, you'll be favorite Octolings too. Maybe someday. But the squid bumpers, I mean, we kind of seen these all throughout some stages, both single player and even multiplayer sake. They're just kind of an extra little wall that ink can bounce off of, so it's a good way to defend yourself by hiding behind one of these. And the mem cake design, it looks nice. Definitely looks like a gummy that I would eat from a gummy pack. But outside of that, yeah, it's simplistic enough. I like it. Let's go ahead and move on to our next test here. Mondo grindage in the Radical Rails Station. So here we have a choice of 3 different weapons, the Splatter Shot and Splat Bomb, Jet Squelcher and Splat Bomb, or the Slosher and Splat Bomb. Let's go ahead and start off with the recommended here, Splatter Shot and Splat Bomb. You must destroy all 20 target crates before time runs out. The timer will start as soon as you hop onto the ride rail. Once you're on the ride rail, fire away. When the rails are parallel, you can jump to switch rails. Take care out there. Let's go ahead and begin the test. Ready? Go! As soon as Pearl says go, be ready, because that is when you're going to have to be moving in this test. So I already kind of made a massive mistake by taking damage in the way I did. Not the best. We're going to work with it. If I can destroy this box, good. I was hoping to get that before we just completely missed our target. As we can see here, when we're swapping between the ride rails, we are actually changing direction. So keep that in mind too. Here I'm going to throw Splat Bomb and demonstrate why you probably shouldn't. If that can land right on top of this orange crate, then sure, it can do a great job when it comes to just destroying the thing on impact. Unfortunately though, it's not guaranteed to actually land correctly, so I don't necessarily recommend Splat Bomb for this. But it's something you can try, mainly just for that top crate. The rest, yeah, maybe not. If you can hit one of the enemies on the edge with the bomb, it'll explode on impact, which can destroy a box. But it's going to waste so much ink, you're better off just shooting things. So, now with that knowledge, let's make our way back to Radical Rails to complete with the other 2 weapons. So back at Radical Rails, let's go ahead and pick the easy of the 3 weapons here, the Jet Squelcher. And you can definitely tell why this is considered the easiest weapon out of the 3 types based on its payout. It has a really good range out of the 3 weapons. This has the longest shooting range, which is going to really help us right now. See these boxes in the center? Very easy to get at this point. We didn't even need to jump over there. We're able to reach them, so that good of range. Shoot the boxes up above. Shoot this one here coming around our corner. Hit some extras. I might even be able to hit this one. I'm very shocked that worked out. Let me see if I can actually get the bomb to land on top of this thing correctly. I have time to waste. I don't care. I'm going for it. One more, and then that is it. I can't keep on attempting this because it will, yep, that's what I thought. This is why I said earlier, bombs not the most recommended. It's really hard to aim with them. They use so much ink. Just shoot it. And with that, Jet Squelcher's complete. Radical Rails is one more weapon left, so let's make our way back to complete it with the Slosher. Back at Radical Rails one more time to complete it with our last weapon here, the Slosher. And that payout definitely describes this one correctly. It is the hardest of the 3 weapons to use because of 2 reasons. 1, the range of the weapon. It is definitely by far the worst range. 2, it uses a lot of ink, so that's not going to help. And if you want to add a 3rd one to this equation, it is how the shots themselves come out. They can take a little bit, but that one is very flip-flopped if that's going to be a challenge or maybe even just a thing that can make this a little bit easier. So if you get your aim just right, you can hit multiple boxes with one fling of the said Slosher itself. So in some ways, it does seem like the different shot of the said weapon can make this a little bit easier. Again, it's all subjective at the end of the day. I don't know if I can even hit that box from here, so I'm just going to attempt to play things a little more safe. I'm going to make my way back up so we can get this box now. Or we can miss it all. Okay, that's fine. This is fine. This is fine. Let's just attempt something. We're running out of time here. I'm going to time out here in a second. Oh, definitely going to time out here in a second. Okay, that was a Hail Mary. We ran out of time, so we failed the test. If I was able to hit the edge of the platform that box was on, it would have probably exploded the bomb and possibly have hit the box. No guarantee, but that's what I was hoping for. Didn't work out. That's unfortunate. So let's just aim things correctly here with the Slosher. Don't let that box go around. The bigger the box is, I feel, the more confident I am for just hitting it from a distance, so it's okay to leave it behind. Case in point on that one. Let's get some ink back at this point. Trying to hit the box moving around. Little hard to do. Cannot believe those jumps made it. I was supposed to jump across more on a proper transition. I never got where the heck that was. It's just kind of jumping around aimlessly. You know, it works. We beat Radical Rails with Slosher, so that means we're done. We completed all the weapons. Time to move on. So now that we're done with that station, let's check its mem cake. It's the bumper. Wait a minute. Oh, I see. Squid bumper to bumper. But there's no Octo bumper? Oh, come on. You teach the virtues of the skill. Of the still. And yet I spurred the lesson learned. My problem is I have no chill. It's because I don't have an Octo bumper. Come on! Where's the Octo bumpers? Nobody likes the Octo bumper. Gotta make a petition for one. That's the only way we're gonna get it. But, you know, besides that, this is a nice looking bumper, as we can tell in the memcake design. Nice Squid Force logo on it. It's as you would expect for a thing like this. It's a good shield in multiplayer stages to hide behind. Ink just bounces right off of it, so it can help you in a pinch. And just simplistic design. I like it as a whole. So, with that, let's go ahead and continue on here. Oh, I'm making a mistake for doing this now, but we're gonna do it. My sources say no in all that 8-ball station. So here we have a choice of 3 different weapons. The E-Liter 4K, E-Liter 4K with a scope, or the Splat Charger. All charger weapons except 2 have pretty good range, and 1 has half of its range. Alright, I can see where this is going. Let's just start with the recommended E-Liter 4K. Please use the 8 balls to turn on the 7 switches. If you run out of ink, it's game over. And of course, losing one of the 8 balls means failure as well. On the bright side, there'll be 1 ink refiller available for you to use. Do so wisely. Lastly, keep in mind that you can cancel a charge by diving into your ink. Take care out there. Let's go ahead and begin the test. Turn on 7 switches with limited ink? Is that even possible? Think carefully about where the ball is going to end up and aim each shot precisely. It might be helpful to bounce the 8 balls off the walls. That's the only way we're gonna be able to do this. So let's be careful with our aim. I'm gonna take a half shot on that specific 8-ball. Take a full shot here. Try to hit at the very bottom edge. Somewhere in the middle. And it bounced backwards, so that was a horrible shot. This is gonna be the problem in this mission. It's gonna require some pretty precise shots, and we have very limited ink to go on, making this really difficult. As we just seen there, that did not go in my favor. That was the worst case scenario for 2 of the, 3 8-balls we have here. It's not great. Is that a wall right in front of that switch? It's a little hard to see. No, that's not a wall. So if I shoot this 8-ball, I will be bouncing it. Then that's a good shot. That's what you need. You need shots like that specifically where you're going to bounce the 8-balls around in a very specific pattern that can bounce around each other. Now here, if I shoot, I am out of ink. So I'm better off not shooting that and actually getting an ink refill or shooting from a different angle. So I'm going to just try this shot instead. Because I have a very limited amount of time, or I could just fall off the edge. Okay. I was gonna say, I have a very limited amount of time to refill my ink before I get destroyed by sea cucumbers. So I could have took the shot and then also refilled, but yeah, as we've seen, worst case scenario, the thing fell off the map. Not great. This is the same setup as before. This is the exact same setup. Oh, I don't like this. I'm gonna see if I can recorrect. The answer is no. No, I cannot. This is actually worse than before. By a huge margin. I might be able to work with this. The thing is with this mission, is you really gotta have physics on your side. Know exactly where to shoot these 8-balls and how exactly bumping around like this will work, because that's your only way you're gonna be able to make it through this. Are you serious? That feel when you die in front of the ink refill without ink. I needed, like, what, half a second more? Oh, that's mean. That's what I was talking about before. You can get to the ink refill before that happens. You just don't have that much time. Please tell me that was a good enough shot this time. It's not any better. I'm gonna have to wing it. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. The physics here really are the problem sometimes with the 8-ball. I'm trying to get a more straight shot so when the ball hits the ramp, it goes straight instead of on an angle. Because on an angle like that, that's where we're having all these issues. So here, if I can shoot this 8-ball straight, I can immediately go over to the ink refill, grab it now, and we're good. We don't immediately just get destroyed. So now, trying to move around these 2 8-balls. Maybe something, okay. You know, if it doesn't go off the edge, maybe we can get somewhere. Try this again. That was a pretty good shot. Now here I'm gonna charge up a little bit more, about 3/4 full. And if that lined up as well as I thought, that should be good enough. I should be able to hit it straight and go right over the target. Are you serious? That was lined up perfectly to go through if it didn't go over. Oh, that's another problem I have in this mission. It's very easy to overshoot a target. Okay, I'm just gonna shoot that and run. We have one more left, but we also had no ink, so I'm gonna have to shoot one of the 8-balls here from the right, which I do believe I can just get this one here in front of me. If I get a good enough aim. Then it lines up a little bit better, so from here, if I just shoot straight, this should complete the test. There we go! Oh man, the biggest problem I have with this one is physics. Because I swear, half the time I think the shot's gonna go one way, and it just goes the exact opposite of what I planned. I can be a little bit better with billiards than I can with the actual 8-ball billiard here. It's a lot. Let's go ahead and make our way back into all that 8-ball station, complete with the Air 2 chargers. So back here at all that 8-ball, let's go ahead now and change over to an E-liter 4K with a scope. Nothing's really different. I'm just gonna be honest here. It's not. I don't know why this weapon's considered easier of the two. It really is the same to me. The only difference is now it's a little bit easier to aim your shots well, but as we can see, we're still at the mercy of the physics of the 8-balls themselves, and in some ways, I find this weapon to be harder to use with this mission than a non-scope charger. It's just something to do when I zoom in like this. It's just a little bit harder to see my shot overall. Imagine you playing billiards, and when you're about ready to take your shot, you just completely shut your eyes until you have maybe like centimeters of your eyelids opened up to see. That's pretty much what the scope is doing here. It's not as helpful to me as I would like. I can see how this could work. It's just with how I play chargers, it's not helping me as much as I would like, personally. Let's go ahead and get this ink refill. I cannot believe that somehow hit the target. I didn't even get to see that happen. That worked in my favor. We will take that. As for this last one, this is going to be a little bit of an awkward shot. We have more than enough ink to kind of experiment here, so I should just be able to hit this one on the edge, and then hopefully it just goes through. Come on. That barely counts, but it counts. We take that. Let's go ahead and complete this mission one more time with the standard old splat charger. So back here in 8-ball station one more time to use the splat charger to complete this puzzle. And as you can imagine with the payout, yes, this is the hardest because of its range. Splat charger, we gotta get a lot closer to the edges here to make our shots in the same way we were with the E-leaders. So that's gonna change things up ever so slightly. I don't wanna make this shot, so I'll cancel it out. I'm gonna shoot, oh, that was too much. Well, that's unfortunate. I'm gonna ignore that one now because that ball is just useless. I was wanting to take a shot in a very similar way we did with the E-leaders, which didn't work. So sometimes just take the losses. There's nothing you can really do about it. I'm just gonna shoot this ball on the edge. And that worked as well as I hoped. Okay, I have one of two options. Take a risk now with the shot, and then I won't have enough time to get the refill, or just, you know, take the refill, and we're gonna go with option B, because that is just insane otherwise. It's not worth it. Let's see if we can get this shot. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. It was a little too curved. If you hit just the edge of a ramp, that's just almost guaranteed to happen. I need to just tap shoot this. A little hard to do. I'm wasting so much ink just to line this shot up. Oh, this is not good. Oh, that's even worse. Oh, that's gonna go on a huge angle if I just shoot now. An angle that works for me! Okay, we take that. I don't think I've ever got an angle shot like that to work before. But that's all that 8-ball station. One of the hardest ones, in my opinion, for the 8-balls, just because of how they work with physics and just the shots. It's difficult. It really helps knowing billiards knowledge going to that, because it's a game of billiards. It's pretty much what that is. Now we're done with that station, let's take a look at its memcake. It's a power clam. When 4 or 1, they make a team. But 1 from 10? Come again? It's like some kind of fever dream. It really is, because when 1 become 10, power clam becomes football. Yeah, we never ask. We don't know how a clam turns into an American football. It just does. That's how it works here in Inkopolis. We never question it. But Power Clam here, this is an item from Clam Blitz, one of the ranked multiplayer modes here in Splatoon 2 that was added a few months after the game was released on the Switch. And it's considered to be the worst of the 4 ranked modes, mainly just because of playing in solo queue is a nightmare. This is a very, very team-oriented mode, more so than any of the other modes in Splatoon 2 ranked. Hence why when you're playing this by yourself with 3 other random people on a team, it can be really difficult to win games. And also very stressful too. It is my least favorite of the 4 as well. Mainly just because of how random people play the mode. It's always a 50-50 on your teammates actually playing the objective or not understanding how it works. In terms of a memcake design, I do like it. Nice clam designs you can see here with the shape. You got some stripes on it being different colors of brown. It's a nice little design of the said clam. Also makes me want to eat it because it's definitely a more food-oriented look, just like a lot of the other memcakes we got here on the D-line. Other than that, yeah, you know, simple enough design. Don't really care for the mode as much, but the memcake is nice. I like it. But with that, we made our way through a good chunk of the D-line here. And I think that's a good place to stop for now. So with that said, next time on Let's Play Splatoon 2 Octo Expansion, we'll finish making our way down the D line here in the Deep Sea Metro. I'll see you guys next time.